18 months ago, I acquired an online business called Rafflelink. Since then, I've grown revenue by 37%, hired my second employee, and I got to work on whatever I want, whenever I want. I'd say this is probably the first real, genuine success that I found in my career so far. But definitely was not all sunshine and rainbows before this. I talk a lot about how Rafflelink is doing so well and how small business acquisition has changed my life, but I think it would be a disservice and incomplete story if I did not talk about all the failures that I had leading up to Rafflelink and how they've influenced my life and what I've learned from them. From ages 20 to 25, I tried to start 5 real business ventures, and unfortunately all 5 actually ended up failing, and I think I lost among all 5 a total of $50,000 in startup costs and failed investments. So today I'm going to talk about my biggest failure, where I lost almost $20,000 trying to start a company called Nail Shield LLC. If any of you guys have been zooming in on my fingers, you can tell that I have a nail biting problem. So during my first year working at my corporate job in Wall Street, I was really desperate to start my own company for a couple of reasons. First, I was very rushed to make a lot of money at the time because I was still working my corporate job as a cog in the machine, doing the same repetitive tasks every day for a boss that I didn't really like. And I realized that at this rate, it would take me forever with just my salary and 401k to build enough wealth to obtain financial independence. So I felt like I really needed to start my own company on the side to start compounding my wealth faster. My last startup project, which also ended up failing, was based off of some random idea that I had that I thought was really good in theory, but I had read some articles and learned from the whole Y Combinator videos and startup community that you should try to find a problem to solve rather than think of an idea and then find the problem for that idea. So I thought of the biggest problem that I had, which was my nail biting. And there are other existing solutions out there for this problem, like some nail gloss that tastes really bad, so when you try to bite it, you don't want to. But remember, I didn't start this company for the right reasons. I started this company because I was feeling very rushed to make a lot of money very quickly, because I hated the current life that I had and I wanted a really quick escape, and I thought this was the solution to do that. So for all the existing solutions out there, I would somehow tell myself and convince myself in my head that they aren't good enough or they don't really work, and that my idea, which was basically to have like fake nails that look like real nails that you can put over your nails to protect you from actually biting them, was like 10 times better than any of those other existing products. When it actually probably wasn't, but you can just really convince yourself of anything if you're in some kind of emotional distress. So I immediately just hired an engineering agency to try to make what I was describing without really doing any researching, prototyping, or validation, and just thought that if somebody helped me create this, it was such a good idea for a real problem that it would just sell. So then I dropped $20,000 to an engineering agency in China to help me make this product. And after a few months and a few meetings, they sent me a couple of prototypes that basically just looked like what fake nails you'd find at like Walmart